So your body and your brain prefers to run on sugar. Sugar fuels every cell in your brain, and it also sees sugar as a reward, which makes you keep wanting more of it. So if you eat a lot of sugar, you're reinforcing that reward, which can make it an even tougher habit to break. Now here's the interesting thing. When you consume carbohydrates, it will cause sugar levels to rise in the blood. Therefore, some carbohydrates are actually treated the same as if you were consuming table sugar. When your body detects the rising levels of glucose, insulin is released into your bloodstream. Weight loss is achieved when blood sugars remain stable, okay? So no spikes from excess sugar or certain carbohydrates or overeating, and therefore no excessive insulin. So the bottom line is that fat will not burn in the presence of too much insulin in the blood. Now I want you to have some context around this, alright? There are 4 grams of sugar per teaspoon. So when you read the back of the nutrition label and you see that there are total grams of sugar, 4 grams equals 1 teaspoon of sugar. Now, you got to reduce these added sugars to no more than 4 to 6 teaspoons per day. Alright, now that looks like 16 to 24 grams total. Alright, total in your day of added sugar. Just for some perspective, there is 22.3 grams of sugar in half a cup of fresh and fruity low-fat yogurt. Alright, or you could eat 5 teaspoons of table sugar. Both of those would trigger insulin in the same way. Did you get that? Half a cup of fresh and fruity low-fat yogurt would trigger the same amount of insulin as if you had eaten 5 teaspoons of table sugar. Alright, so keep your sugar down to between 4 to 6 teaspoons per day. That's 16 to 24 grams total. Bottom line, fat doesn't burn in the presence of insulin. Number 2, manage stress. Studies have linked cortisol, which is a hormone released during times of stress, to cravings for both sugar and fat. Scientists believe that the hormone binds to receptors in the brain that control food intake, and if you already have a high body mass index, then you may be even more susceptible. Now the key is to know your triggers and be ready whenever stress is likely. That means stock up on healthy snacks. If you tend to hit the vending machine at work, or you can just make sure that you don't have unhealthy treats on hand for those times when an attack of emotional eating is likely. Alright, you can actually directly correlate stress to weight gain. And part of that link is due to poor eating during stress. But the stress hormone cortisol also increases the amount of fat tissue that your body hangs on to, especially around your midsection. So higher levels of cortisol have been linked to more deep abdominal fat. Yes, I mean belly fat. Alright, so bottom line, sometimes stress can be unavoidable, but keep healthy snacks on hand so that you don't get caught out during those times and then be reaching for high fatty, high sugar foods. Number 3, the ratio needs to be correct when it comes to high intensity and low intensity exercise. Now the role that exercise plays in fat loss is actually one of recovery, and I did a whole webinar of this, so you can go back through and have a look at this whole webinar and exercise if you like. But the key thing here is that exercise is a trigger, right? Exercise's job is to stimulate new cellular developments. Now this is a process of adding stress, not pain, stress. So in easy terms, it's to hurt your body a little bit, alright? So that while you sleep, your body is required to produce higher levels of growth and recovery hormones, okay? Now that's the first part of the puzzle. But see, the crucial element that will determine whether this process is optimized is whether your body is using blood glucose or sugar as its source of fuel to recover you, or whether it's using your stored fat as its source of fuel to recover you. And this will entirely depend on how you have eaten during the day. Alright, I hope you're following my point. How you eat determines which source of fuel, whether it's sugar or fat, that your body will use in order to perform the necessary recovery. Alright? High intensity exercise is best 2 to 3 times per week, alternating with low intensity exercise. So I've got some examples here of what high intensity exercise looks like. It's not recommended to do high intensity exercise multiple days in a row, as you won't be optimizing the recovery time, and fat burning happens in recovery time, not in the actual exercise itself. So if you do weights, for example, if you like to go to the gym, or if you like interval exercises like the ones here on the page, when you're pushing yourself hard for 30 seconds and up to 2 minutes, followed by a rest, and then you repeat that, all right? So you push yourself hard for 30 seconds and then rest, and then hard for 30 seconds and then rest. That's interval training, all right? That's also called high intensity exercise. Now, walking or anything that you can sustain for a minimum of 15 minutes, that would be considered low intensity. So see how the first one there, the first example was jumping jacks. Now if you could sustain jumping jacks for 15 minutes, that would be considered low intensity. But for the majority of people, you can't do jumping jacks for 15 minutes, all right? Or you can't do push-ups for 15 minutes, or you can't do a plank for 15 minutes, and so therefore that's high intensity. Walking, however, you can sustain for 15 minutes, and so that's low intensity. The bottom line is that you can alternate them, but you do not do high intensity exercise back-to-back days. All right, the next one is no overtraining. High intensity exercise will hurt your body more, all right, and therefore it takes more time to recover. All right, now that is going to depend on the level of difficulty and how new it is for you. So progression is also pretty key. Once again, you can look back at my webinar on exercise, but provided you have eaten well to keep insulin at bay, if you've kept healthy snacks around to keep cortisol at bay, then you can be fat burning anywhere from 14 to 48 hours after doing high intensity exercise. Okay, so however, low intensity exercise is necessary in between. So you got to make sure you don't do them back-to-back days, and this is so that you don't hurt the body too much, because hurting the body too much from exercise, especially while you're still in recovery, it stresses the body out, and therefore it makes too much cortisol. All right, alternate the days of high intensity and low intensity exercise. Don't do high intensity exercise multiple days in a row. Bottom line is, if you feel muscle soreness, then you have not recovered enough yet, so do something low intensity like going for a walk. You'll find that the more that you do high intensity exercise, the more you'll adapt to it, and it won't hurt as much as before, and so therefore you've got to keep the level of difficulty and changing up, all right? But if you think that doing more exercise without allowing yourself optimal recovery time will get you to your goal faster and keep you there, you're mistaken. All right, number 5, sleeping through the night. Now, sleeping through the night means that you are actually able to get into deep sleep, and this is where fat burning and recovery happens. 98% of fat burning happens at rest. That means that if you're waking up in the night at 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning, if you're waking up to pee, if you have difficulty falling asleep, if you're waking up in the morning feeling unrested, all these little signs are signs that cortisol, the stress hormone, is too high, and cortisol, like insulin, counteracts fat burning. Okay, now this is just a little keynote here for the mums. Quality is actually equal to quantity, and I know this because I've got a 6-month-old baby, and so sleeping through the night is unlikely, but the quality of sleep I'm getting is high, therefore I can recover, and I wake up feeling really well rested. Okay, so this is because cortisol is low, not because I'm a super mum. All right, I make sure that cortisol and insulin are low so that I can function at a high level. All right, and so waking up feeling well rested is a really good sign that cortisol is low. So bottom line is, manage your cortisol by keeping healthy snacks on hand so that you don't get grumpy hungry. Keep insulin low by keeping unhealthy carbohydrates and sugars low, and you will sleep better. All right, number 6 and 7, no hunger and frequent meals. What I really mean is starving, okay? So no starving. Feeling a little hunger is no problem. Wanting to eat your own arm, obviously that's a problem, all right? So going too long without food, this is going to cause your blood sugars to drop too low, and this is going to leave you feeling hangry, all right? And you will eat the next thing you see. Now, this situation is insulin and cortisol producing, and they are both fat storage hormones. When you feel hangry and you eat the next thing you see, I can almost 99% guarantee you that the next thing you see won't be an apple. Okay, it's going to be some kind of sugary or fatty carbohydrate. Bottom line, manage your hunger the same way I'm telling you to manage cortisol, by keeping healthy snacks on hand or in your bag, in your glove box, in your office. Just to let you know how I do it, I have 2 meal replacement shakes in my baby bag. I keep an apple in there, a bag of nuts, just in case I get caught out. I keep 2 snack bars in my glove box in the car, just in case I get caught out while I'm driving. Planning and organization is half the battle won. Alright? Planning and organization is where it's at. Okay, number 7 and 8, optimal vitamins and minerals in 7 plus a day. Now check this out. Less than 30% of Kiwis are getting the minimum serves of vegetables a day. Okay, so remember the campaign 5 plus a day? 3 of those should be vegetables. So less than 1 in 3 people who are eating are getting less than 3 fists of vegetables throughout the day. So think about what you ate today. Did you have a fist of vegetables with your breakfast? Did you have a fistful at lunch? 3 fists throughout the day is the minimum serve, alright? 5 plus a day, that's 3 veg, 2 fruit, that's the minimum. This is not a goal, this is what you need to be beating nutrient deficiencies. But 7 fists is now the recommended daily amount. That leaves us woefully short if less than 30% were getting the minimum amount. So in the long term, vitamin and mineral deficiencies manifest themselves as chronic degenerative diseases such as cancer, heart disease, stroke, diabetes, obesity, and these are not limited to this list, and which 9 out of 10 adults are going to suffer from in their lifetime. All right. Now, in the short term, you may not get a disease, but you can end up with impaired functioning, because vitamins are cofactors for all the biochemical reactions in your body, and so we need them in order to function properly. Impaired functioning can sometimes manifest in mysterious ways, all right? And it's really just your body's way of communicating to you that it needs help. Things like having problems sleeping, things like cravings, things like hormonal problems such as cramping or PMS, facial hair, brittle nails, cracks in the side of the mouth. All these different things here, and also body fat, are just compounding symptoms of a body that is deficient. Okay, so the good news is that most are fixable with dietary tweaks and supplementation, and this is all the more reason to make nutrition a top priority. The bottom line is a healthy body does not store excessive body fat, so eat your veggies, all right, and take a pharmaceutical grade multivitamin. So I've given you 9 specific things that you can start doing right away for optimal fat burning.